Welcome to Tansson TV Plus. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yep, thank you for joining with us again.
You know, we always love doing this. And Mom, how is your day going thus far?
Brandon, do you believe the weatherman is saying that tomorrow it might snow?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Do you think it will?
I don't know. For those asking, this is January 17th, the day we're taping this, of 2026. And yeah, we could have some snow tomorrow, so that'll be interesting to see.
Well, we went to a museum that almost always has snow, so I would imagine that the snow would happen.
Yeah. This one particular museum we go to, every time we look at pictures, we go each year at this time period, there's always snow on the ground. So that must signify something. But anyway, we thank you for joining us. And today we're going to talk about another first episode. And this is the first episode from a newer series that's out now called Crutch.
Yes, and so we're speaking about the very first episode of the series called Financial Crutch.
Yes. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of information about this show and about the first episode, too. So, this first episode is basically a celebration of Jake. Jake is the son of Crutch, and Jake has just passed the bar exam. And so he is an up and coming lawyer and apparently is already doing a wonderful job. And so his father throws a party for him, and his sister, who is married with two children, has come down from Minnesota with her two children to support her brother. But during the party itself, we find out that Jake actually wants to focus on pro bono work, and he wants to kind of continue helping those who are less fortunate. This means that he would need to move back home. Now, his sister, on the other hand, and her name is Jamala, is breaking up with her gambling husband and also needs to move back home. So this series basically is about a father who's kind of adapting to his grown children, moving back home, plus grandkids. So that is the first episode of Crutch, Brandon.
Well, Mom, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, Brandon.
And before I ask you how your thoughts were, this episode released November 3rd, 2025. And Mom, what did you think about this first episode?
I thought it was fine. It is not the greatest show out there, but in any shape or form, but it's also not the worst show. We have seen so much worse. And so this was just really kind of an enjoyable watch. I did watch it twice. I showed it to your daddy because he didn't watch it with us. And so each time I was able to giggle at certain points. And it is an easy to understand show. You won't have a problem keeping up with it. Now, whether or not this show is for children, probably my guess is probably depends on the episode. And so we've only seen the first episode though, but I liked it. And yes, to answer the question, I would continue watching it.
Yes, and I think I'll continue watching it as well. And so, for a little bit of background, that this is a spin off series of.
The Neighborhood.
Yes, and so whereas The Neighborhood airs on CBS, Crutch is on the streaming service Paramount Plus.
Yes. And why we picked it, because we try to pick shows that are out now. And so this is a show that is out now. And so we wanted to kind of keep with that also.
Yes, we're definitely getting into modern day in terms of our TV viewing for those who, of course, have tuned in. We like a lot of older shows, but we're trying our best to sort of at least get acclimated or know of the current shows that are on.
Yes, we are. We're trying. And maybe it is with this show. We'll go back later and tell y'all what we thought overall. But for a first episode, like I said, once more, it was a fine watch.
Yes, and I will say that, at least for me, there's certain things that I see within a spinoff that I usually look for, and one of those things is a very overt connection to the series that helped spawn it. And so in this case, we do have that.
Yeah, we have a very overt connection. We have two of the stars for The Neighborhood. They were on the first episode. They were very prominent in it, but yet they did not take over the episode, and which is something I like. I like the subtlety of them being there. It was nice to see them there, and then, but you could see that the show, because of the way it's set up, it can survive on its own.
Yes, and so most of the time, like for these spinoffs, and of course it all depends as to like how in depth the show really was intertwined, with the original show. But oftentimes, I do observe that we have like usually a star or somebody from the original show up on the new one, usually as some sort of special guest star that might be anywhere from a glorified cameo that is somehow pivotal to the plot to someone that's just mentioned. And so in this case, we did have that glorified special guest star cameo in the sense that you have the characters of Calvin, Butler, and Tina show up from the neighborhood, taking their flight out to see their cousin Crutch, not to be confused with Calvin's brother, also played by the actor Tracy Morgan on the neighborhood.
Yes. And Brandon, I do like to rate the shows 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. I gave this one a 3. What about you?
I'd agree with that.
All right. And something that I thought was kind of not normal for this time frame is this show actually had a theme song.
Yes, it did. Is it memorable to you at all?
Not really, but we've only seen one episode, and it is not a long theme song at all. But I'm just happy to see it had a theme song.
Yes, I definitely did. I do remember liking the intro sequence. I was sort of taken aback in the sense of that. I was like, "What's going on?" It's like, "Oh, we actually have something going on here." And so I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm interested to see if it sticks around for the rest of the series, which I believe has 8 episodes thus far.
Yes, it does.
But mom, I mean, I know, of course, I said this is a Paramount Plus show in its first season. Do you think the show, I mean, based off this first episode, will be able to get more than the first season now that, of course, the neighborhood is coming to a close this season?
It's hard to judge right now. I think they have a making of with the variety of cast members that they have that it could go on longer. However, I think I don't want to base that until I actually see more episodes, and then I can make a prediction for you guys. Now, my predictions are always wrong, but I can make a prediction for you guys.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like I need some more information at this point in time. I mean, I definitely see the makings of a show here. Just the question is it enough to keep the series going? And I think it's also a difference too because streaming service such as Paramount Plus versus CBS. Like I think on CBS it probably could have gotten at least the 13 episode order, if not a full season. But I don't know if they're planning on making any more of this first season after these 8.
Yeah, so it will be interesting to see. I do know when we watched it, your daddy even said that he wanted to watch more episodes.
Well, yes. And if you don't know, for those tuning in, is that we try our best when we're watching a new show to not watch other episodes until after we filmed our discussion of the first episode.
Yes, we try. Brandon will be fine. His mother gets confused.
Well, Mom, is there anything that you want to discuss before we head into our connections?
No, actually, I was going to ask you what kind of connections did we have besides the
Okay.
obvious?
Well, Mom, can you remind us what is the obvious?
The obvious is, of course, is the neighborhood.
Yes, and we have a few more, some of which I didn't even remember were connections until just a few moments ago.
All right, go ahead. What do we have, Brandon?
So, sticking with our neighborhood connections, of course, with Cedric the Entertainer, we have spoken about a different show that's not the neighborhood that includes them.
Oh, go ahead, Brandon. Tell everybody what it is.
So, yes, the Steve Harvey Show.
Yes, we've spoken about the Steve Harvey Show. And what other connections do we have?
Okay, so we also have one with the aunt character of Aunt Antoinette with Keisha Lewis.
All right, and what is that?
So she was in the revived 8th season of Mad About You.
Okay. Oh yeah, I do remember her being on there.
Yes, and so I really liked her role within this episode of Crutch. I feel like she's sort of the character that helped bring everyone together. I guess sort of like the mom figure or aunt figure in this case. But yeah, I feel like very similar role. But we also have a connection with the director.
Okay, tell us about that one.
Cool. So for the director, we have both a direct connection and a interesting no indirect connection.
All right, what's that?
So directly, oftentimes I try to look for the actual individual episodes we've already spoken about, and so the director of the episode, Oz Scott, directed the pilot episode of 227.
Oh, okay. Well, wow, he's been around then.
But yes, but well, the indirect connection is that he's also directed a handful of other episodes and series over the past several decades. And Mom, can I name a few?
Oh, go ahead, Brandon.
So this includes Alice, Scarecrow, Mrs. King, 227, Are We There Yet, Blackish, and even an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That is incredible. That's incredible.
Yes, and I should mention that for those overseas, we haven't spoken about those episodes outside of the pilot for 227. But I will say for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. one, it's a season 4 episode and it's one of my personal favorite episodes. So it was exciting to see that connection.
Okay, that sounds really good. I will say, Brandon, one of the things I really liked about the show that I will say is that it had an initiating point, and it's something that we've talked about for a while, and which I think is incredibly important for shows. And so that made this a plot much easier to kind of keep up with.
Yeah, I definitely thought that that was very helpful. And like I said, I know not necessarily that I was worried in watching it, but I guess going into it only because many times for these sort of spin-off shows is that because they avoid a pilot episode usually being ordered direct to series, that oftentimes you don't really get what we see like in our first episodes with like the initiating event and that um, and I guess the initial development. So I'm so glad that we were able to get some of that within this episode.
Actually, same here, Brandon. Same here. All right, did you have anything else you want to talk about?
Well, Mom, my last question for you is: do you believe that any of the characters from Crutch will come back to the neighborhood, or if the neighborhood characters will come back to Crutch within this 8 episode span?
Actually, I think we might see maybe one other person from the neighborhood, just my guess, coming over the crutch. We did see the crutch character itself. That person was on the neighborhood, and and that was the season, if I remember correctly. And so, I think we might see one other crossover. That would be my prediction.
Yeah, I definitely think that we will see another crossover. I'm just curious as to whether, on which side the crossover will be. It'll probably be to I guess to the Crutch series, assuming um that it's one of the other 7 episodes, probably towards the end. Although I feel there should be another one in the neighborhood to get more viewers to turn in, to make sure that of course it can get another season. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
Yep, we'll have to wait and see. All right, Brandon, and we thank everybody for watching today.
And we look forward to seeing you next time.
All right, have a great day, everybody.